Hey guys, this is another video for doing a disc brake conversion on my dad's 66 Chevy truck. I now have everything pretty much on the passenger side as far as hardware mounted. I have my 6-lug disc brake rotors. You can get these on eBay. I actually bought these from an individual who gave up on his project. Thank you for that. They worked out well. This is a 73 to 87 spindle. 7172 spindle you could use as well, but the ball joint for 7172 is for 7172 only, and it's more expensive. So be aware. Stick with 73 to 87. You don't have, as also to recap, you don't have to change out your control arms. These are 66 control arms. And I like them better because of the greasable pivots rather than the rubber bushings, which the rubber nowadays is garbage. If you need to switch out your now, I've understood that there's a possibility that the bump stop on the lower control arm is in a different spot. I'm not sure yet. I measured with mine, and I've heard other people say it's no big deal, but I heard a couple people say it's best to switch out. If you do, get a lower control arm either from a square body. You could do one from a square, but if you do get it from a square body, get it from a 73 to 87 3/4 ton or 1 ton. And the reason is they have those greasable pivots, but the upper control arms will not work. It's only the lower. The uppers, because these holes are bigger. I'm not sure if there's a way around that, not unless you do a cross member swap. Not necessary. Again, mine are in good shape. I'm going to stick with the lowers. As I said, this is the 6-lug conversion that I'm doing for disc brakes. I haven't put the caliper on yet. The caliper is also 67 or 73 to 87. These are the tie rods. This is a 73 to 87 outer tie rod. That is a 60 to 66 outer tie rod. Let me repeat that again. 73 to 87 outer tie rod, 60 to 66 outer tie rod. The reason is the left-hand thread versus right-hand thread switched. I got a previous video that has the part numbers and has my rant about CPP not telling you this. They sell you the adapter and then you got to fend on your own. One website I went to said they were inners. That was wrong. They are outers. Take this with you. Check the tie rods when you get there so you can see. Again, I have the part numbers in one of my previous videos. When doing this, it's time to also, and what this does is this is so I can keep my center link. Because if you're going to go with the 7387 center link, which has heavier tie rods, the bracket for the idler arm is a bracket that goes up at an angle. And to get that angle right is a bite. I did it on one other truck. I did good. I had to re-drill holes, and there goes Kitty. But this is a nicer get up because you can just keep your original center link, and it's a lot simpler. Take this time to replace your idler arm and any, because you're already replacing all the suspension components. Check your pitman arm, even though the pitman arms on these things are pretty bulletproof. Something you're going to notice, there is a little extra block right here. On the original, it was out here, and then this piece of metal went in and was flush against the frame, and then there was a little tube spacer. Moog obviously saving money, and also, which is a good thing, because it's really not that big a deal. They just put a block down the whole thing, which makes perfect sense. Chevrolet should have done that anyway. But they also have more money to blow on engineering. Whereas something simple, just put a full block spacer. Don't forget this spacer. I originally thought maybe it's a reinforcement for the back of the frame. No, it is out here. You don't want to throw the geometry of the frame off. This has to be out just a certain distance. Otherwise, they will not get your alignment correct. Now, to the casual viewer, you'll notice I don't have any of my Zurich fittings yet. I also don't have the cotter pins in yet. I'm still working. I'm going to do that last. However, I have this one in. The inner tie rod, I used a 90 degree, and it's not perfectly straight with this. It's actually up a little bit. This makes it easier to grease, because obviously, how are you going to get You know, it comes with a straight Zurich fitting. How are you going to get in there to grease it? So put a 90 on that one. Just like on the uppers, we've got some 90s here and here to just make it easier to get to. As I said, 73 to 87 ball joints. Unless you go with 71, 72 spindles, then you need a 71, 72 upper ball joint. It's a 2-year only ball joint. If I remember correctly, the upper and lower ball joints on 73 to 87 are the same as half ton, 3/4 ton, 1 ton. Because I think when I looked it up, all the part numbers were the same. They finally just went and said, look, let's just make one set of ball joints for everything and it's cheaper. I'm not sure, obviously go by application. So again, this is where we're at. I still have to run my hoses. I'm going to run the lines, which I've already got one video that kind of gets into it, but I'm gonna try to get a little more detailed on this one. The hoses and the lines, I'm not gonna do the 71, 72, which would be the short hose from here. I am gonna use the proportioning valve and all the lines for the front for a 73 to 87. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually simpler and it's in one piece. Plus the lines are longer. Plus the front holes, there's something here. I don't know what somebody put. There's something on the other side. I'll have to get. It's probably a brace for something. I'll have to move that. There is a hole here and a hole on the other side of the frame. The two 3/16 line for the front brakes go perfectly to that hole. Then the hoses for 73 to 87 go here and they go around. There's a mount, that a hole I'd have to drill here, and they go all the way to the back of where the caliper would go. It's just a nicer getup. Plus, you don't have to have the lines you don't have to be as exact if you decide to go with mechanical brakes and then decide to go, or manual brakes and then decide to go power brakes, because the lines, the proportion valve is under the radiator and the lines go all the way up. I'm pointing, you're gonna have to imagine I'm pointing to the firewall where the master cylinder would go. Anyway, more to come. Just wanted to give you an update. Have a great day.